I guess I should start by introducing myself, and then you're going to introduce yourself.
Sure.
So I'm Liz Gilbert. I am a writer and other things, but mostly known as a writer. And I wrote a book called Big Magic that's about creative living beyond fear. And I used to have this podcast called Magic Lessons that I discontinued when my partner got sick, and I wasn't able to keep up with it. So I'm really excited that we're doing Mississippi Magic Lessons down here in Jackson with some amazing artists. And a magic lesson is when I sit with a creator who's having a little bit of a struggle, and we talk our way through it, and hopefully by the end of it you feel a little bit more open and ready for the next thing that you get to make. I was going to say have to or want to, but I prefer get to. Whatever it is that you get to do next. So why don't you tell everybody who you are, and then we'll start.
Okay, my name is Teneia. I'm here from Jackson, Mississippi. I'm a musician, singer, songwriter, and I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy that you're here. I know more about you than I think some people who will be listening or watching do, because I've been Google stalking you since I found out that I was going to be talking to you. But tell me what happened. Tell me why you're here at this moment, and start by telling me what you've made in your life with your creative energies, and then tell me what the last year has been like, and then we'll start there.
Yeah, so far I've made about 6 albums. I have made tons of singles, music videos. I love creating. I love songwriting. And the big thing for me this year is I went through a really public divorce that was attached to my career. We worked together, and so this year has been about rebranding and finding myself alone in this new space that's been very, very difficult, but turning to my art to kind of help me get through it. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at today.
So you divorced your husband, who is also your writing partner, your creative partner. And tell me why you call it a public divorce.
Because I had to publicly, announce that I was divorcing. You can't see one without the other, how we worked together. So I really had to kind of announce to the public, because our life was so public and everything we did was an extension of our marriage.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Dude, I'm the chick who had to publicly divorce the guy at the end of Eat, Pray, Love, right? Like, I actually know a thing or two about what a public divorce is. And when you are associated a certain way with somebody, and when the world, your world, and that can be as big or as small. I think in a weird way, every divorce is a public divorce.
Totally.
And because you present yourself in the world as a couple, and you create a story.
Yes.
And then you guys took that story onto a stage, into a literal spotlight.
Absolutely.
And your music was about that story, and people fell in love with your music, and I'm guessing with the two of you as a pair.
Yes.
And when you say can't see one without the other, that's probably the situation that you're facing right now, I would imagine, is who am I without that?
Yeah, and I had a career beforehand.
Which was what I was about to remind you of. Because I know for a fact that you have created albums without this person in your life as well. So tell me, let's talk about who you were before.
Yeah, I'm the same person. But I think when I was attached to the story, the newer people that came on board didn't understand who I was before.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a thing where these new fans are there, and we made those fans together. But then they're like, well, who were you before?
Yeah.
So the best thing about creating right now is just showing who I am. Me with not with anybody else on board, but just like my heart and who I am. Which has been an interesting challenge, because people are like, well, you need to make another rock album, or you need to make this kind of album. And I'm like, pardon my French, I'm just going to make a fucking album that I want to make. I'm going to make the songs I want to make. It's so important for me to be who I am. And that's been a little bit difficult because people have been judging me based on who they think I am, not who I really am.
Isn't it adorable when people tell you what you're supposed to be
can we
creating?
Oh my God. So I have been, I don't want to say dreading, but thinking about this part for months now, because I've been thinking about me and being like, I want to make a fucking album, you know, which is so me to say, but it's kind of an interesting thing because now I'm like removed and I'm almost done with my upcoming album. I've got 2 more songs to record, and I've had the best time, like really sitting in that album and really not even thinking about anybody else or their thoughts about what I should create. I'm just like that. Honestly, the people that were telling me, or suggesting what I should make actually helped kind of fuel the fire for me of like, stay in your authenticity, stay 100% in who you are. So watching this moment for me, I was like thinking, oh my God, did I come off so fiery? It's actually pretty soft in comparison to how I normally am. And I'm thinking about how just, I don't know, how cool it is for her to say, isn't that adorable? Isn't that, I'm like, yeah, it is kind of adorable. Like, I'm not offended by it watching it. Anyway, okay.
It's so cute. I find it so cute when people say that to me. I'm like, really? Can I ask you where you're downloading that from?
Yeah.
You know, and it's such a bad compass to navigate by. It's such a bad compass to navigate. It's very innocent. You know, there's no, when I say adorable, I mean it. I don't mean it patronizingly. It's very sweet. What it means is that they are invested in you and that they love you and that they want you. This is the funny thing about being a creator. Everybody wants you to do the same thing that they fell in love with you for, but they also want you to make it different so that they can stay stimulated, right? So no pressure. All we need for you to do is the same thing but totally different. You know, and that's why it's a really, really super bad idea to listen to what that is. And so I guess my question for you is, without either judging or condemning those people for that, recognizing it as the innocence that it is and the sweetness that's that, right?
Yeah.
How much they love you and how much they long for something,
Yeah.
you know? And there's, if you were to talk to those people right now and give them a message, I would advise you to anchor it in love.
Yeah.
So rather than saying, I'm gonna go make my own fucking music, which is puts you in a warlike position against people who actually really love you. How would you pretend I'm them and pretend like I want you to embody a really, you're a grown woman who has preached love her whole life. I know that your music is all about that, right?
Yeah.
So anchor yourself in that love and tell me what you're going to do next.
Oh, God, that's so good. You're so good. I mean, it's all from the heart. Like, I think doing the next right thing for me, for myself, is just writing from my heart. And that's where I've been coming from, is like, I just, you know, the whole time, my whole thought is just like, how can I be more loving, caring, and kind, but still be honest? And I think that honesty for me is really, really important. And so to not let anybody and their opinions lovingly steer me from being loving.
So oh my God, I'm gonna stop.
I'm not gonna.
Oh my God. I just love this moment. I love it because it's so real and so honest. And I'm so stoked that I got to do this, because watching it back, I'm just like, oh my God, like, I feel so thankful watching this. It's more for me of like, wow, even with all of the stuff I've gone through this year, is just, I look at this and I watch our interaction, and it's so soft and so beautiful and so real all at the same time, that I just kind of feel overwhelmed with how simple it is, but how beautiful it is at the same time.
Tell me what you're not going to let me do because of what I want you to do. Pretend I'm your loving public who's now saying you need to make another rock album.
Yeah.
That sounds just like what I'm used to, but new.
Yeah.
So talk to me directly and lovingly and tell me what you actually want to make.
Yeah.
And why you're not going to do what I'm telling you to do.
I'm not going to do what you're telling me to do because I want to be authentic and honest and caring and kind and show up in the way that I know is best for my heart.
And tell me why that's going to be to my benefit ultimately.
Because I'm being authentic, because I'm being who I creatively know I am. And I think if I'm doing that, you get the best of me. You get all of me. You get everything that creatively I feel like you love.
Okay, so what I want you to do the next time you go on stage is start by saying that. And I read in your artist statement that you're feeling like it's a bit difficult for you to find your authenticity on stage at the moment. And what you just said, if you can say that to your audience before you begin singing to them, to tell them, I love you. I'm going to be a little different now from what you're used to. Here's why, and remind them that they all also know what it's like to change. I have a motto. I believe that anybody over the age of, I'm going to say 35 but it's probably younger than that, but certainly anybody over the age of 35 could write a memoir, and every single memoir would have the same title. And that title would be Not.
So the advice she gave me there about how to show up on stage, I did that in Phoenix, and normally I close out my show like that, where it's really intimate and really beautiful, but I started that way. So I walked out by myself, no bandmates, and I just said, here's the year I'm having. I've gone through this really difficult thing. I've had, my heart broken. However, this has reminded me how much I'm so thankful to get to play music and how much of a badass I feel like at this point ending the year. And it was so cool because I was so present. I mean, I'm usually pretty present, but this show was very different for me. It was like I could hear a pin drop. I was so connected with my audience, and it ended up being probably one of the best shows of my life because I was real, I was authentic, I was vulnerable, and I was still fiery, and it was like all of those things and fun. And so that advice that she gave me of like just showing up with vulnerability first actually helped me create this just beautiful environment the whole entire time through the show. So that was amazing advice for me because it just it transformed my show.
What I had planned.
Yeah.
Not what I had planned, because your dear friend life has a different plan for you than the one that your mind made at a younger age, right?
Yeah.
Your mind made a plan. I'm going to make music with this guy forever. I'm going to live with this man forever. This is my soulmate. This is my partner. This is my co-creator. And for a while that was true. And then life, which has her own current, let you know that actually that's no longer accurate.
Yeah.
And you're choosing to live in abidance with that and in accordance with that. And so that's all I want for you, is that I don't want you to be in opposition to your audience, because they actually really do love you.
Yeah.
And I want you to bring them with you
Yeah.
on this journey, rather than positioning yourself as, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah.
I want you to do, I love you, and I'm going to do what I want for both of us, for all of us.
Yeah.
Because every single woman who follows her own inner compass liberates every other woman in her radius. And every woman who gets liberated liberates every man in her company.
Yeah.
And so if you want freedom for them, then you have to show them what it looks like, lovingly. Lovingly. Does that make sense?
That makes so much sense.
And I also want to give you an exercise to do before you go on stage, which is to practice. It's actually about when you go on stage. I don't want you to start speaking right away. I want you to ask the audience to sit in silence with you for a minute. And it's a very rare thing for a performer to do, because there's something about going on stage that makes you feel like you got to come out banging, you got to come out entertaining, you've got to come out. And I want you to read the room intuitively, because I get a sense from having listened to your music and having read your words that you operate from a very deeply intuitive place. And I want you to just ask for silence. And I want you to sit in silence with them. And I think you're going to be amazed at the connection that brings you into with them and them to you. I think almost before you even speak, if you can hold silence with them, you're going to get that, which is what you want, right?
Yes.
Like, you don't want to be in opposition to them.
Yeah.
You want to be in harmony with them. And before you go on stage, I'm going to give you an exercise to do, and I would give this to anybody who's a performer or a creator at all, about grounding yourself in this moment, so that you're not going on stage carrying the history of all the people that you are not anymore, and all the things you used to be. You want to be there. Like, that's what stage presence is. So there's a meditation technique that's very simple that I call 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so before you go on stage, I want you to look out into the audience, and I want you to see 5 things that are beautiful. So you start with vision. You just see, it's about bringing your senses into the moment. So you start with vision, and I want you to see 5 beautiful things. I did this morning when I meditated. I looked out my window, and I brought myself into my vision to see 5 beautiful things. Then you shut your eyes, and you hear and you listen for 4 beautiful things, whether it's somebody's laughter, whether it's the clinking of glasses, whether it's the sound check. Like, there'll be sort of a music in the air, and I want you to tune into that. And then I want you to feel 3 beautiful things: the air on your skin, how good your clothes feel on you, the earring hitting your neck, you know, like some sensation of physicality. And then I want you to smell 2 beautiful things. And then I want you to taste 1 beautiful thing. And when you get all 5 of your senses into beauty in that moment, then you're allowed to go on stage. And then I want you to hold some silence. And then I want you to tell them the truth from a place of love. And then you see what comes out of your voice. Oh my God. Does that make sense?
Makes so much sense. And I'm crying now.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got this.
You're amazing.
So are you.
Thank you.
So are you. And I just want to take away, if there was any magic fairy dust that I could take away from you, it's any belief you have that you can't do this without him. And I want to leave you with something that my favorite teacher, Byron Katie, told me, which is, I've never lost anybody that I ultimately was not spared.
I think the biggest thing for me with her saying that, like, you can do this without him, and it's not even about the divorce for me, it's what I've realized even just watching this, but how many things I got to do this year that I told myself that I couldn't do. Oh, I'm not good at that, or I'm not good at this, I'm not good at contracts, I'm not doing. And I'm ending the year thinking, oh my God, like, I've done so much since then that I didn't think I was, like, capable of doing. And so the person that I get to be right now is just, like, so excited and so proud that not only did I get this experience, but that I got to take from that and create so much more, that I'm, like, ending the year so full and so excited and full of, like, creativity. So it's so cool to see this.
And I want to put that out there to anyone who's lost anyone, whether it's because they left, because you left, because they died even. There's something in your future that you were spared, and now you get to see who you get to be. And I do not believe in a plan B life. I do not believe in a plan B life. There's only plan A, which is this one. And I refuse to believe that, and I refuse this too about my own loss of my partner Rhea, who died a year and a half ago. I refuse to believe that the world without her is a worse option for me than the one with her, because I believe in a friendly and loving universe, and I believe I'm given the best one for me. And so I don't even have to know anything about the situation to know that the world you're being offered now and your future without him is the best one for you. The best one for you, and the best one for us, for what you're going to make out of it.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's nothing against him.
Of course.
The one he's getting is the best one for him too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. All right?
Thank you so much.
Bye, sweetheart.